Hello YouTube, it's Tom Driver, and this video is going to go over the 4th and 5th iteration of my Drive Fitness application. So to pick back up from last video, in the summer of 2017, I got an internship with a company called Mentera. They started teaching me about web languages such as HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And I began to work on another version of the Big Three actually. So I actually made about 3 different versions of the Big Three this summer. The first one just simply used JavaScript. Then they started teaching me about jQuery, so I started over and started using jQuery. And then they started teaching me about Angular. So the third and final version of the Big Three, which I'm going to go over on this video, uses Angular. Angular is really cool because it allows you to actually add logic to your HTML code and manipulate the HTML code much easier. So in this video, I'm going to go over that version, which I built in the summer of 2017. The last version I ever built of the Big Three. And then on the right hand side of the video, you're going to see the new version of Drive I was working on at the time. So it turns out that come the fall semester, I took a course in computer science, and that teacher started teaching us about a framework called ionic. And so basically everything that I learned over the summer fed beautifully into that course because Ionic uses Angular under the hood, and instead of JavaScript, it uses something called TypeScript, but it's super similar. And so once I finished the Big Three that summer, through that class I took, I was able to begin transferring that knowledge into a multi-language application using Ionic. And it uses something called Cordova to basically take that web browsing language and then generate that into either an iOS app or an Android app. So at this point, things really worked out for me, and I'm pretty excited about this time period, and I got a lot of work done on the 2 different versions. And I also took some course that required me to do some screen sharing video, and I am going to play that for you now. The audio is not that great, but the databases that I use they don't exist anymore, so I can't actually demo these versions myself. So bear with me, but I'm going to play an old video that I recorded a couple years ago with these 2 versions side by side. Enjoy. Hello, my name is Tom Driver. I'm a computer programmer who's working on a gym tracking application. It's mainly for lifting, and it gives you points like you're playing a video game as you enter in your weight and reps. So I've been basing all of my lessons for this class off of exercising. On the left of the screen is the demo of my app I built over the summer. That's finished. It's got its own website and it's up and running. And then on the right is what I've been working on this semester, and I'm hoping to launch it to the App Store maybe around New Year's time. So I'm going to demo these both for you. Let's see. As you can see, my demo has no password protection. So the demo is just for bench, squat, and deadlift. You can see here, it tracks all of your history. It has some cool graphics. And then stacks and pumps are 2 different types of records. One's based on reps, one's based on weight. And they change colors as you get more records. They go from red to green to silver and then gold. And then you have some challenges that you complete as you use the application. So as I said, this is actually a game. So as you enter in your weights, you get points as if you're playing a video game. If you see the bar at the top, you can continue to level up until you eventually get to level 8. So it's just a way of, giving you a little bit more drive than you already have in the gym. It makes it a little more fun. The way this app on the left works is it just, as you see, it takes your weight times your reps, and that's how many gains you get, which is cool, but it doesn't allow people to compete. If, for instance, one person's 5 foot tall and the next person's 6 foot, they couldn't really compete fairly. So for the new model I have, we actually have weight and reps. Just sorry, we have every set you enter in is 5 gains, and every new record you get is 10 gains. That way, people can compete here on a leaderboard, and um, they should be able to compete on a fair level no matter what size or experience level you are. Unlike this app that only tracks the 3 lifts over here, this app, you can track any lift. And right here is how you add a new lift. And in the old demo, you can see that you can only get records from 1 to 10. And then in the new demo, you're going to be able to customize it, change out certain rep records for other ones if, per se, your exercise is one that you try to get higher reps for. And then when you click on one of the exercises, it goes into a similar view as the app on the left. I'm going for more simple, so I cut out one of the records and I cut out the challenges, so you just have 1 records. I still have to put a bar chart down here. History should work about the same, and I'm thinking about switching the chart down here. I didn't really use this history chart. This shows your 1 rep maxes, and I'm thinking about showing your average 1 rep max over time to see how you improve instead of just using 2 different bar charts. And I think I'm going to add a really cool animation in here once I finish the rest of the app. Whenever you score a new record, you can also delete exercises. And then as you make gains or points, you're going to be able to look at the leaderboard to see which of your friends are making the most gains, either today or this week or maybe of all time. And a big issue with this app is going to be, alright, well, who's cheating? There are a lot of people who might use this and cheat, and it's not going to be fun to compete with them. Well, this is some fake data, but you're going to be able to search your friends' names and follow them and put them onto your leaderboard. And then if you think that they're cheating, you can just unfollow them. So this leaderboard is going to be customized to you. It's going to be just you and who you choose to compete with. And then we just have a profile page. Just shows what level you're on. And you can add a cool picture in there. And that's about it. Thanks for looking at my apps. I had a good time demoing them. Thank you very much. So the version that was on the left, the big 3, I actually did reach my goal of the 1,000-pound club using that version. And both of these versions, neither of them actually had a backend. I was using a database called Firebase, and I essentially just stuck in, API calls and right into the front end of the code that called the Firebase code. And it honestly wasn't very good. The apps, they ran pretty slow once they got onto your actual phone. The version of the big 3 I uploaded to a website, and it was just kind of a responsive internet application that you could use mobily. And then the version on the right is actually the same framework that we're using today on the front end. So that uses Ionic, and we still use Ionic today. The version that I demoed was about 95% of the way done. And once I finished, I released a video actually on this channel back then of a little tutorial of me going through it. You can check it out. I renamed it now to iteration number 5, but I actually did release that video back in the day when we first initially launched the beta on the App Store. And that was the last thing I did on my own. So after that version that you can see on the App Store, I started working with my co-founder Matthew Dramazos, and a guy named Blake Pastrana actually helped us out as well during the next version I'm going to show. But yeah, this has been the journey thus far, like my own journey. From this point forward, Matthew Dramazos has helped with every single version, and it's been great to have a partner. So thank you guys so much for watching up until this point. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you next time.